Alright, I want to share something kind of funny with you guys this morning, or today, being July 28th. First off, I'm pretty happy. I was able to finish the wood flooring project that I have been working on for the last month or so. You might realize that I'm kind of meticulous when it comes to making my 164 customs, trying to, get all the details correct. And unfortunately for my wife and family, I'm the same way with wood flooring. In my other projects, I kind of take my time and I want to make sure every board goes in right and it all looks good. So it really took me a long time, and I kind of worked on it here and there as I was working customs and some other things going on in the family. So, but one of the things I want to show you guys today is this number 60 Matt Kenseth TCA, which is Truck Centers of America Peterbilt. Now, Matt actually never drove this in an actual race, but he did try to qualify at Talladega in 1998 as I believe it was a 6th entry for Roush Racing in that Talladega race. Unfortunately, Matt didn't qualify. So I'm going to take this Jeremy Mayfield 1998 number 12 Mobile 1, and I'm going to work this and make this. And it's funny because I've made a number of these cars over the years, but somehow, some way, I was going through my collection and it wasn't there. So I'm like, what's going on? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I must have sold it because I remember having one, and I must have sold it and not replaced it with one. So I'm going to make that one. And just real quick, I'll show you some of the pictures of it. This is what you see when you Google it, at least what I see when I Google it. He tried to roll this out in 1998. So obviously only time he ever drove the number 60 car. But this is a really good shot of the qualifying effort. Couple things to notice: it's silver across this front bottom, and I believe the decal sheet comes with that. If it doesn't, I can paint it silver, and I'm looking at it right now. As I look across, I don't see it, so I can paint it, or I can use one from another decal set. Another picture here is kind of this back left quarter panel. You can see the CSPI here. You can see all this real clear at this qualifying effort, and you can see here on the back just a little bit the little yellow banner here underneath the center logo. And what's funny, I don't see a fuel door on here. I wonder if it was black, covered up somehow, some way. It looks like it's covered because the S on Truck Centers is covered. But regardless, we've got some really good pictures of this effort, and so I'm going to make that for my collection. I don't know why the die-cast manufacturers did this, but you can see the red. This says made in China. I'm trying to think, is this a this is an Action Performance die-cast, and I don't know why it's red. It's really weird. You can see the black on the dash there and the steering column, and so anyways, actually I'm going to open this up and show you guys that. I've already started drilling it out, and I said, hey, before I drill this out, let me video some of this stuff for you guys. If you're wondering what I'm doing with these number 6 Wyndham Rewards Kenseth cars, I've got like a little list of what I'm going to make, but I went ahead and I bought some of these, and I'm going to adjust them. I'm going to open them up, and I'm going to detail them on the inside and on the bottom, and I'm going to add some logos to them. So at Dover, you can see my list here. At Dover, he drove it with the Twitter logo on 7 October. Martinsville, he had pink numbers in that race. And at Phoenix, he had an NBC logo on the door. And, it's just a little NBC logo that goes right there that I'll put on. As well as at Homestead, he drove it with a Snapchat logo and Built Ford Proud on the side on 18 November. So these 5 cars are going to be made for that. One of the disappointing things about these cars from 2018 and 2019 is, the Monster logo is missing a banner across the windshield. The Monster little logo on the side is missing because they didn't want any Monster sponsorship on these little cars. I guess hazardous for the youth to have that encouragement to drink the energy drink, whatever. So I like to add those things in just to, again, just to make the car look as much as it possibly can as to what he drove on the track. And so I've got these little decals, and so I'll make these different ones for my collection. And so I'll show you real quick. This is something I bought from Pato, a decal sheet, and you can see it's got these little tiny Monster logos. I'm not sure how well that's going to focus, but these little side logos that come with this decal sheet that I'll be able to use to make a handful of these cars, and it's got a bunch of other crap on there too. But I'm just interested in these little Monster logos that go on the side of the cars. So that's what that's for, and yeah, that'll be fun. So let's open this up and see if you guys can. I can do a good job pointing this into my trash box as I drill it out. I'm a DeWalt guy. I've had this 36 volt DeWalt tool drill for quite some time, and the batteries are still good. And yeah, they've gone to a different battery line, much lighter, smaller, more compact, probably even more powerful. But I've got a number of these 36 volt tools, so I stick with it. I guess at some point I'll upgrade to the 20 volt or whatever's the latest. But it's pretty expensive to do that, and you don't get much. I mean, I talked to a DeWalt representative one time at a trade show, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll give you like $100," and I'm like, "I've spent close to $1,000 on all of my 36 volt tools, and you're only going to give me $100 off a new line?" And I'm like, I'll just continue to use them until they crap out. So yeah, so I continue to use this, and this is I believe it's a 5/16. Trying to find the drill bit. Yeah, it's a 5/16 drill bit that I use. It's a DeWalt drill bit, and yeah, I mean, it works well. I usually put it at a higher speed than a lower speed where it gets more torque, because I'm just trying to spin it really fast to get the rivets out. So, all right, let's go at this. And I've already kind of worked this first one. I want to make sure I'm already through. And I don't push very hard. And I kind of wiggle it around to make sure it's getting the sides. And obviously you want to be real careful. You want to be real careful with this thing. So let's see if that's through. Yep. So I just kind of squeeze a little bit and pull back to make sure it pops through. And I don't want to take any more than I really need to, because I want this to reseat back in there nice when I put the JB weld, and so there's very little a gap between this bottom plate and the rivet that's on the backside, the stud that's on the backside of this body. So I want to make sure there's not a whole just a lot of destruction of this when I take it apart. So all right, let's do this backside. Kind of felt it gave away there. Oops. So that was nice. There's some of these older cars, the rivet is when you get to the bottom, it's just like a ring, and it just pops off real nicely. So let's see if I'm through. It doesn't quite look like I'm through. I got this in here, so let's see. Just a little bit more, maybe. Yeah, I can feel it wiggling. I think that's through. There you go. So what's nice about these is these actually are rubber tires, not the plastic crap. 1998. 1998 Jeremy Mayfield. So that'll be nice. I'm kind of wondering if I should paint this bottom or leave it red. I might just leave it red and then just detail this. I don't know. I kind of like the red just because it's so odd. I don't know if I want to keep it red or not. Usually when I paint the yeah, see this? I don't know. I may just leave this red. Leave this red and paint a little bit on the bottom like I normally do with the black and the silver, a little bit of the white, the rust here. I don't know. I mean, obviously it wasn't red. Back in the day, I have no clue why they used red for these die casts. But, it's different. I gotta think that through. Here. So, okay, set that over there. Alright, so wow, what a goopy. Look at this. It's kind of a... Okay, so they slid this dash piece over this little metal piece here. So they slide it in, but when they did that, they just glued the crap out of that. Alright, let me get my knife here. It's just taken these types of cars apart before, but I've never seen this much glue. It's very interesting. Be careful, I'm going to cut myself. Whoop. Okay. Alright, so that's that. This didn't get damaged in any way. Okay, that's nice. That's a nice piece. It's funny how just think they made things better years ago. Ones they make now, I don't know. They're really kind of cheaply made. That's really why I like to detail them, because they are so cheaply made. And okay, so there's no residual glue on there. This is a one piece, this whole thing. The front, back, sides is all connected with these two rivets. I take these two rivets out, it should come out. Okay. So this is where you really got to be careful, because your drill can slide off and smack the windshield, which there is no coming back from drilling or marring these plastic clear pieces. I've done it many times, unfortunately, and you can try to apply the clear tester's glue that dries clear, but it never looks the same. There's always that seam or bubble that you see. I've tried the clear, Pledge floor care finish, and that doesn't, correct it. So you just really have to be careful, or you're going to have a marred windshield. So hopefully I don't do that here. And of course I don't want to drill my finger. I've gone through just pushing too hard and slipped off and jammed, especially this area of my finger, a handful of times, and it's painful, but I'm more concerned about any damage that I might do to the windshield. So make sure this drill bit's seated in there nicely, and get after that. Yeah, see that rivet there? That thing right there. Alright, let's take this other one off and see if I have to go any more on that in the first one. Okay. It's pretty simple. Another rivet. private piece. Okay, so I'm going to push these in ever so... My fingernails are too long, I got to cut them. I got to push these in ever so carefully without scratching them. Okay. I always hate that noise. Because with these, I mean, okay, so this is a 1998. This thing is 22 years old. And so these plastic pieces are really fragile. And in this case, this piece is really, actually really nice. It's a lot better than what I normally see on an old car like this. It's not yellowed in any way, and yeah, it just looks really nice. But you got to be really careful. You want to snap them. If it breaks along one of these seams, that's okay. I can always glue that, and it's not a big deal. But if it snaps, you know, in a place that you can see, then that's a problem. Yeah, so this is pretty much free and clear now. Whoa. Okay. All right. So there's a little bit of pressure in there when that got in place. But no damage done. Yeah, looks good. Why do I do that? Please, be careful. I can have some residual, stripper that might be in there, and I'm going to drop it in that. So, fortunately, there was none in there. But yeah, that looks pretty good. And it's already, you can see all these lines are already painted. They don't look chipped. I might need to touch up, a little bit back here, but nah, it looks really good, actually. It's a nice little car. So this car is ready. There's no plastic pieces. So I'm just going to dip this puppy. Show you how I do that here. So I just hang it on my little piece of 14 gauge wire. And kind of dip it like this. Just let it sit. And that's that. You haven't seen my other videos. That's my clean stripper. I guess they've come out with a new formula. I think I've said this before in one of my videos. They came out with a new formula. I guess it's a little bit more eco-friendly. And Walmart discontinued this model or this type. So they went and discounted it. You can see that one was $11 on the back, and then this one was like $5. So I've got that for. It says I bought those in February of 2019. So I've had those for a good year and a half. I haven't even opened them yet. That stuff is expensive. I think I was at Home Depot a week or two ago, and I saw it, the new formula, and it was like $40 for just a gallon of this stuff. And I'm like, good Lord. I'm all for, trying to protect the environment and, doing what we can. But at some point, it's just so cost prohibitive. I could not imagine buying a gallon of that stuff for $40. It's just way too expensive. So, I paid $20 for that one there on the front right, and I thought that was ridiculous. So when I saw that one for $11, and then a week later, I think I saw that one for $5, picked those up and, let that sit there until I need it, not even open it until I need it. Alright, so you can see this is already going after it really well. And I'll strip that down here. I usually let it sit for close to an hour, and after an hour it's real easy to peel off. If I started trying to do it now, there would be little areas, little crevices that still hadn't been treated, or the agent hasn't gotten to that little area yet to separate it from the metal, and so I'd have to redip it. So I just let it sit for a good 45 minutes to an hour at least, a lot of times longer than that, and I'll come back and I'll scrape that clean and wash that up and use the steel wool, use the wire brush, and go after that. So take this stuff over here. I like these rubber wheels a lot. I just think that's, I mean, it's not like I'm rolling this car down a track or anything, but it just, you know, it's so much better than these cheap plastic ones. You know, just, yeah. So that's that. That's ready to go. Don't really need to do anything with those two pieces. And then I got to figure out what to do with this, if I'm going to paint this or not. My thoughts are, again, to either leave it and then just touch up some of the pieces, or you know, just a whole, you know, full up paint it completely. I don't know. I'm really tempted to just leave it red. And another reason why I'm thinking to leave it red is because of this. It's a black vehicle, but it's got some of the red decals, so that might look kind of neat to have the red inside and here with the black. I don't know. I may have just convinced myself to leave it red. All right, so that's what's going on there. Showed you guys that. That's kind of a work in progress with those as I have time. I haven't yet gone after this. I did cut up one of these pieces for this Furniture Row 78, one of the decal sets, and as you can see, it's a pain in the butt. That's one of the most painful decal sets to cut up. I mean, with all of these curves on all these pieces, and I mean, it's just a pain. What's nice is they gave you, Pato gave us some extra pieces here. So this is like an extra 78, couple extra 78s, couple extra Furniture Rows. So I have that as a as a spare, a couple extra spare white Chevy logos that I might be able to use in the future for some other custom. But yeah, trimming this out was a pain. But what I need to do next is kind of line up the decals onto the car and just see where the orange paint needs to be painted, and then paint it. And then once I get that orange painted, then I can start applying the decals. I'm thinking I want to apply the decals before I put it back together, but not sure yet. Not sure. Usually that doesn't work out for me. And the reason I say that is because I can see I've got like a little fuzzy in my hood paint. I'm hoping that that goes away when I can see that. I hate that. When you paint and you get like a fuzzy across there. And it's almost too late. When you see it in the paint, even if you were to pull it out, it wouldn't look right. The paint wouldn't set right. So you're pretty much screwed when that happens. My plan is just to apply multiple coats of the clear sealer, and it'll kind of raise up, you know, and then you apply the decals and it'll mask it. So, but what I was saying was, when you go to put the decals over top of a car that you haven't quite reassembled yet, and you get this little overhang that might hang down, and it would look nice, but when you go to pop in that back window piece, it's gonna, my experience is, it lifts that little edge of the decal, and it doesn't look very good. So you either have to go back in there and tuck it back in there, or you have to cut it. So my experience has been, it's probably best paint it, what you need to, reassemble it, and then apply the decals. So that's kind of my plan with these cars, and I may get after that either later today or tomorrow. We'll see. Now that the floor is done, I'm feeling pretty happy. Accomplished that project, and yeah, so I can get back to spending a little bit more time on my hobby here. So, all right, guys. Sorry for the little bit extended video here today on just showing you this number 60 Peterbilt, TCA Peterbilt for Matt Kenseth, but kind of wanted to give you an update on where I'm at, and Hope you're all doing well. God bless, and we will talk to you in the next video. Take care.